Shares.
Hi, Clear Lake. Welcome to Arts Connect. We are so thrilled to be here in the city of Seabrook. We're at the Seabrook Community House, and I have two amazing ladies here today. And we are going to learn all about their pelican project that Seabrook has ongoing here, the history of it, what it entails, and all the amazing things that happen here in Seabrook. So, welcome. And I want to introduce you to Leanne Peterson right here. She is an amazing lady. She just got finished with Celebration Seabrook, which is such an amazing event. If you've never been, you've got to come to that. And she is the director of public affairs here in Seabrook, and she manages the Pelican Project. And with us is Miss Marcy Friday. Who does not know Miss Marcy Friday? She's just an amazing lady. She actually is one of the co-founders of the Pelican Project here in Seabrook. So welcome, ladies, to Arts Connect. And we are, first, thank you to the Clear Lake Chamber for broadcasting this. And we love to go around our community and highlight art entities that make our community strong and great. And the Pelican Project is definitely one of those. So as the co-founder, tell us how did this idea, Marcy, even come about?
Back in the early 2000s, I would say 2000, 2001, the city had just been through a very tumultuous time with a recall of the city council. Sherry Smith was my husband's campaign manager, and he became mayor. Sherry and I were discussing things one day. How can we come up with an idea, a positive idea, to make people in Seabrook proud and happy? That's what we wanted, something to make people happy. So we came up with the Pelican Path, because pelicans are a symbol of Seabrook, and fashioned the pelicans as the cows in Dallas, which were very popular back in that time. We found an artist to come up with a prototype, and hence the design of the pelican today. Then we did a call for artists and then a call for design. And the only thing left was to go sell the pelicans. And so we worked with the city to come up with some seed money. The city council was very generous. The funds came out of the hotel motel tax. The first person to buy a pelican was Tony Wessendorf with Corrigan Environmental over on Capri Lane. And so he came up with a boating design with a pelican in a boat, which is now in front of Lakewood Yacht Club. So that started it all. And when people started, business people especially, started to understand what the project was, it became a very popular idea. Now, how our program worked was that the businesses would buy the pelicans. They could decide on what design they wanted. And so we would then find an artist to work on that design. Then we had to find a fiberglass place, which happened to be fiberglass fabricators over in Pearland. And there was a lot to work with. We had to get an engineer for the pads to attach the pelicans to. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of little nitty-gritty details involved in it. Yeah. But I think the program has been a success, and we're very, very happy that it has continued through the years. The Sherry Smith and I worked on it for about 5 years. Then she dropped out, and my husband and I worked on it for probably 8 or 9 years before the city took it over in 2017. Mm-hmm. So that is a little bit about the background.
Marcy, that's amazing. Just a discussion of what can we do to make people happy turned into all of this.
Well, I hope that it's a symbol of Seabrook now. And the other purpose was to attract tourists to come to the city and spend their dollars in our businesses.
Absolutely, yes.
Tell her about, real fast though, when you took the pelicans on parade, and did you take them to Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, tell them about that.
The city of Chicago decided to have a critter parade, and so they invited this is how popular all the critters were in the cities at that time. They invited those who had critters in their city to send one to a zoo in Chicago. And so we sent one of our pelicans. Sherry went up to check on it while it was there. I can't remember the name of the zoo, but it was a very, very popular one in Chicago. And interestingly enough, ours was one of the very few that had a plaque on it with the name of the pelican, the name of the artist, the city where it was located, and the year. So we were pretty proud that we had thought to do that.
Yes. And is it still there?
No, they provided the transportation up and back from here, and then they had hoped to spawn an idea for this in other cities, but it never took off in other cities, I think, because it was such a complicated endeavor.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Wow. Neat
That's
story.
That's a little fun fact.
That is that's great. I love it.
One of our concerns when we started the project was mischief to the pelicans. We didn't know how much they would be respected. Fortunately, through the years, we have been very, very fortunate with that. However, about a year into the project, we had a scuba pelican that was owned by the Turtle Club on Clear Lake. And the pelican was close to the road. Sherry was driving down Nassau Road one morning and noticed that it was missing. And we just panicked. We talked to the police station. We got the word out to the newspapers. If anyone saw the pelican, to please replace it. Well, when this got out, the city got a call from the then Holiday Inn in Nassau Bay, wondering why they had a pelican in their swimming pool.
Oh my goodness.
So we were able to find that pelican and put it back in its proper place.
Marcy, it sounds as if these pelicans are your babies. Like
They
you
really are.
Pretty much, you treat each one of them as a special entity in its own, right?
Yes, and they all are very individual. There are no two pelicans alike. They each have a name. They each have an artist that created it, and each has a business that they call home.
I love it. Okay, so the city took this over in 2017. Leanne, in one of your many hats that you put on is that you pretty much work on this project of, and how many do we have now?
Okay, so overall, we've had 81 commissioned since 2001. Some of those pelicans have left and gone to other homes as businesses have closed down or retired, and they've taken the pelicans with them. But as of just a couple of weeks ago, we commissioned number 81, which is, his name is Bob. He's a NASA engineer, and he's going to go over in Lake Point Forest with Phil and Gail. They already have two over there, and they wanted another one. So
Names.
yeah, they all have names. So just since 2017, I'm trying to think of the number that we've commissioned. We've put one in memory at the fire department. Chesapeake Bay has one in memory of Bill Fredericks. Bay Elementary now has one. Ed White is in the process of commissioning one. And those are a lot of fun because the art teachers get involved. And so instead of commissioning an artist, the art teacher gets involved and they have the kids help them paint the pelicans. So it's super cool. And speaking of painting pelicans, each year at Celebration Seabrook, we commission 2 new pelicans. We have an artist, Debbie Starr, that paints one live, and then she creates another pelican that has, kind of like puzzle pieces. In fact, we have one called Puzzled that was commissioned during Celebration Seabrook, but it allows the public to paint their own piece of a pelican. So this year's was butterfly themed. We've done musical notes, we've done the puzzle, we've done a Seabrook Love one that has hearts all over it. And so we really try to get the public involved and a part of the project in addition to, the businesses purchasing them.
Wow. And I saw them doing that Saturday and it was beautiful. So many kids they felt so proud putting their piece, doing it, being an active part of that pelican. And it was really great. Yeah.
Leanne, what is the process for one purchasing a Pelican now?
Okay, so the first thing I tell everyone is to go to SeabrookPelicans.com. The process of purchasing a Pelican is on the site. The city does not make any profit on these Pelicans. Everything goes towards the purchasing of the actual fiberglass that you see behind us, to the artist commission, to the concrete pad that has to be hurricane proof, because we are, as Marcy mentioned, an engineer was involved in deciding how heavy that those pads are. And then we have a small portion of that go to a restoration fund that we do. And so to purchase one, it's basically just emailing my staff and I, and we get the ball rolling on that. We can only do so many per year because the manufacturer can only make so many for us per year. And we do have limited funds. And so sometimes there's a wait list. And after Celebration Seabrook, we might have a wait list because we have a lot of people that are interested.
Oh, that's grand.
Yes.
Now, where are the Pelicans actually made now?
They're made actually over in Kima. We're no longer having to go over to Pearland. So they're fiberglass. So it's a boat manufacturer, a boat repair company that makes the Pelicans.
Because they deal in fiberglass all the time.
Right. Mm-hmm. We do have to have the molds repaired. We have two different molds. We have the molds that you see behind us right now, which are the fun, loving, happy ones. And then we have a more realistic Pelican that most people actually don't purchase because they like the fun ones. But you can see one of the, or actually two of the more realistic ones. We have one in front of the Bay Area Veterans Memorial.
Mhm.
And then we have one in front of the Pelican Plaza. That's also, we also redid Fishing Freddy recently, and he's also over there at Pelican Plaza.
Okay, so if I wanted to buy a Pelican and I go to your website and I look that up, do you commission the artist, or do the people get to make that Pelican what they wish it to be?
So we give them the option. For example, like with the elementary schools, they commissioned their art teachers to help with it because there is a fee involved. The majority of people will say you pick an artist. And so we have a couple of artists on rotation, and we just rotate them in and out based off, which one's coming up. The fee for the artist is a flat fee. It never changes. And so if there are any artists that are interested in participating in the project, we also on our website have a way for them to contact us, and we review their work and make sure that they have good quality work, and we'll commission them.
That's great. And the Seabrooks have to be in the city of Seabrook, correct?
That is correct. They do have to be located in Seabrook. They also have to be accessible by the public. So this is not something that you could buy and say, hey, I want to put this in my backyard next to my pool, because the public has to be able to come by and take pictures of it and things like that. So it does have to be accessible to the public. In addition to, if you live in an HOA and you want one in your front yard, you'd have to have permission from your HOA. But all that information, the restrictions and things like that are on the website. We also don't allow for logos and things like that because we want it to be a piece of art. This isn't a promotional advertising.
That's important.
Activity.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's public art. And thinking about that, back in 2003, I created a book, which I can't read right now.
I got it for you.
Thank you.
It's
About
amazing.
the Pelicans. It gives a history and the original Pelicans, of which there were probably 20, and a bit about the early artists that were involved. And Leanne has put this up on the website from page 1 to the end. So I appreciate that very much.
That's really neat. Really neat.
Thank you.
And you wrote this whole book?
Yes,
Good job.
Yes.
Is there anything you don't do?
many things. Pelicans are my favorite. And I'm so glad that the city has agreed to restore some of the pelicans that have been weathered, so to speak. That is funded with a limited amount. I believe we are starting a donation page for those who are interested in the restoration of the pelicans, so that we can keep them looking pristine throughout the city.
That. So let me just get, about how long would a pelican be out there before he or she needed to be restored? Just a ballpark.
It really varies. It depends on their location. So if they're located in the sun, direct sunlight, they're going to have to be repaired more often than not. So if they're in a nice shaded place, like the one at Lakewood, just inside the gate there,
Yes.
it's located in a really nice shady spot, and so he doesn't need a lot of work. Lone Star hasn't needed a lot of work over the years because he's in the shade as well.
Perfect.
So I would say maybe 5 to 25 years.
Yeah,
Really.
it really varies.
So your restoration fund that you're working on, how would one donate to that if they wanted
Well,
to?
I'll tell you right now, this just came out of this conversation.
Okay.
So, but I make
But
things.
needed. It's
We make
time.
things happen. So
Mhm.
we already have pages set up to like donate for our memorial, to donate to
Oh.
park benches and things like that. So we'll do the same process, and we will put that link on SeabrookPelicans.com once it's live.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Great.
I wanted to mention the artists that are now working on the Pelicans. Handling the restoration is George Gonzalez and his wife Judith with Gonzalez Studios. He's doing a stellar job. And then Debbie Starr, I believe
Yes,
she still has a studio in Kima,
Clear Lake Shores, I think.
Clear Lake Shores.
Yeah.
She's
Believe so.
Right.
Mhm.
And so they are the two that are helping us out.
Yeah,
They're doing a fabulous job.
And speaking of that, George and Judith have restored 6 pelicans within the last 3 or 4 months.
Gosh.
Wow.
They've done Fishing Freddy, Posey the Potted Pelican, which is located in Old Seabrook, Seymour, that is right outside the community house where we're at the Marcy Friday Pelican Path, Gale, Sleepy Time, which is in front of I believe the Kima Edgewater, Holiday, which is right behind us right here, and he will go in front of the Quality Inn. And then they will work on 2 more that need some fiberglass work, which is Big Bird in front of Classic Cafe. If you've been missing him, he's at the Fabricator right now, and Baseball Field in Lake Point Forest. But I do also want to mention that their son, Doug Gonzalez, is a Boy Scout, and he started an Eagle Scout project to restore several of the pelicans here at the park. And so his troop are going to come out sometime later this fall. They raised money at Celebration Seabrook to restore Pharaoh, the King of the Sea. And then they're going to clean up all the other pelicans here with some paint touch-up and things like that. So
Wow.
that was a really cool Eagle Scout project. So.
Yes. So specific and so instrumental to help the community. That's great. I love it. Well, it's funny because you see these all over, and you're right. You would not want one of these in your front yard because the amount of traction that they get. People stop and they're doing photos of these all over town all the time.
Marcy and Jack have one.
Yes.
Very close to their front yard. Tell them about Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam is one of the original pelicans created by Paul Urbanik, who was an artist for Foley's department store many, many years ago, who did a lot of the creatures and critters for the Foley's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Wow.
And so Paul painted the pelican, designed it, and we had it commissioned with a ribbon cutting. Right now it is at the end of Bryan Street in the old Seabrook area. And it's been a very popular one with the pictures.
So people are all in your front yard all the time.
That's fine. And if I happen to catch them, I'll give them a book so that they can read about the background.
I love it. I love
But
it.
now I know to refer them to the website.
To the website, yes.
Perfect. Okay. The crew of Seabrook was so wonderful today to move in 3 of your children into here for our interview today. So who's behind us? Tell us a little bit. I know you mentioned them, but
Okay,
tell us a
so
little further.
Lone Star is our City Hall Pelican. He was commissioned by Faith Solis, which was actually a former employee of the City of Seabrook. She was the administrative secretary for the city manager's office. We have Lucky. He is brand new. He actually is replacing Robbie. We have the Lucky Trail Marathon every March right around spring break, and Robbie was in some non-repairable shape. And so the organizer of the event decided to do a fresh start. So we have Lucky, and he has on his bib "Love to Run."
Love it.
Which was by Debbie Starr. And then Holiday, which was recently restored by George and Judith, who Marcy just mentioned. So, and he's going to go back at, I believe it's the Quality Inn.
Perfect. That's amazing.
And I want to give a shout out to our Public Works crew, the City of Seabrook Public Works crews, because our Parks Division are the ones that take these pelicans all around. They load them up. They take them on their field trip to Celebration Seabrook. That's what we call it, is the Pelican Field Trip to Celebration Seabrook. They make sure that they get their top coat at the manufacturer. They pick up the blank ones and store them until they're commissioned by a business or an artist. And I know that probably wasn't in their original job description.
I doubt it.
I think they have fun with it. And, I couldn't do the job without that crew.
They're amazing. They are. All right. Tell us a little bit about what's right outside here, the community house, the Seabrook Community House. There's a little path out there.
This is the Marcy Friday Pelican path.
You have your own path.
Yes, in Own Park. I'm so proud of that.
What? So amazing. I love it. So what happens in the Marcy Friday path?
Well, hopefully, citizens and visitors to the Seabrook area will take advantage of probably 8 pelicans very close together in the park to take pictures and enjoy their unique quality. And I was very impressed with the Public Works that they got the pelicans from the Seabrook celebration back to the proper pad along the path. They did a great job, perfect job with that.
Yeah, they do. So we have Pharaoh, the King of the Sea, out there. I'm trying to remember all the ones that we have off the top of my head. Lucky will go out there replacing Robbie that was out there.
Puzzled is out there.
Yeah, Puzzled is a Celebration Seabrook Pelican.
Pharaoh.
Yeah, Pharaoh.
Le Jardin.
The
gardener. And Penelope.
Oh, yes.
Is out there.
Penelope
the painting pelican.
So.
Perfect. Now, you had mentioned to me earlier that you are putting together a map that you can go around and actually know where they are and see where they are, take pictures, and your photo would.
Yes, it's a digital map.
A digital map.
It's a digital map that will work through our Seabrook Pelicans website. And when you go there, you'll be able to bring up the location of each pelican on your phone. And we'll set it up where when you take a picture on your phone, you could submit it, and so that you can see all the people that have been taking pictures with the pelicans over the years. And it's all interactive. And before we had a print-based map, and the pelicans would move or change, and so the map would become outdated fairly fast. So this will eliminate that need. So we're really excited. That's an internal project through our multimedia producer that's in-house. And so we're super excited about that.
That's amazing. I hope I don't look on there and find one in a pool.
But they're it's interesting that you say the fiberglass is extremely light. And so that's why they have to be bolted down to the cement pads, because they could just fly away. They could literally.
Yeah, in a heavy wind.
Certainly. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Anything else that you want the world to know about your beautiful pelicans and your beautiful city?
I think it helps us to be very unique.
It surely does.
Yeah. Everybody knows about the pelicans. Go check out the library pelican. She is incredibly cute. She's a favorite among a lot of people.
With her glasses.
Yes, she has huge reading glasses. She's adorable. She was actually, the library helped to restore that one personally. We have one in front of Public Works. We actually have one for the 146 project. Weber contracted a pelican.
Really?
Commissioned
I did
a
not know
pelican
that.
a few
Can't wait
years
to see
ago.
what that looks like.
He's at their site location right
Okay.
now. I'm not sure you want to get out and take a picture with all the construction, but he'll be one that we hope that they retire to the city after the project is done. So, yeah,
Quickly.
quickly. There's We're planning on doing some, once we get the map live, we're going to do some promotional things, trying to give away some Seabrook swag, take your pictures with all the pelicans, get a t-shirt, passport type stuff. So
you will make it fun. I know you will. You always do. Tell us the website one more time where we can get information on the pelicans and how to get this beautiful book.
Okay, so it's seabrookpelicans.com. And you can also do a search for it and find it through the city's website at seabrooktx.gov. We don't have currently any books in production right now, but we'll make sure that we put that on our list of things to do for this year and allow people to just pick them up from City Hall.
Oh my gosh. That's
Wonderful.
fabulous.
Thank you.
That is great. Well, Clear Lake, I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. I've seen these pelicans along the roads for many years, and knowing the history and knowing what was behind it all it's inspiring, yet it's just a fabulous thing. We are so fortunate to have the city of Seabrook in our back door, or across the water if you're over there. It is a true treasure. The shops here, the restaurants here, but all of the things that Seabrook does, and the pelicans are just an example of that. But please take your time to go on the website, look it up, come see these beautiful pelicans, come to this beautiful city. It is well worth a trip. I guarantee it. It is great. And ladies, Leanne, all you do for this great city, we thank you so much. You work tirelessly. I know a lot of what you do, and I probably don't even know a third of what you do. You work amazing. And you are such an inspiration. I mean, in all that you touch and all that you do, you just had an idea and you followed through with it. And look what a legacy you've left for the city.
Well, I'm very pleased and happy to be able to do that. And I want to thank Leanne for doing such a stellar job with the Pelican Path in the city.
Well, thank
you very, very much.
No, it's this job. It's a passion. I mean,
yes.
I love serving this community. It's a wonderful community.
Well, they are blessed to have you. And you do. And I'm so glad that I got these two busy ladies to sit down with me today to explain and bring their friends with them.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Clear Lake Area Chamber, for doing the Arts Connect. It is a great thing that we love to do. And guess what? We're coming back to you in November. We're going to South Shore Hotel, and we're going to take a look at the gingerbread house that they're constructing there and see all about it and hear about all that goes into making that wonderful thing happen. So join us in November. Cannot wait for that. Also, I'm going to do a shameless plug. If you want to come see the ballet, it is next weekend. We're producing Giselle, and it's going to be hauntingly beautiful, and you will love it. You will love it. So thank you for joining us today. We love our area. We love our community and all that it brings, and the arts bring us all together. So thank you for joining us today. Have a super day, and come to Seabrook.